Alright, I know I said my next video would be a tutorial for Stellarium, but I think I need to go through this to go along with the last video, because I don't think you understand why I'm pushing symbology so hard. I've tried to explain it to you in different ways, but what it amounts to is what is called sigil magic. And it affects us subconsciously, whether we know it or not. They put all these symbols and imagery in TV. We see one thing, we hear another thing, but there's stuff going on that we do not recognize with the conscious mind unless we're made aware of it. So I'm going to try to give you an example so that you know what's going on. I told you the symbol for this age, the symbol for this age is this right here. It's the age of the mutable cross. But they have the cardinal cross right down the middle of it. Now, a big symbol that's going around, and well, let me do this. This really upsets me because, let me do this again, of all the Saturn bashing, and they don't know what they're talking about. Let's put the Cairo back over here, and that's what it's called, the Cairo. Well, I messed it up, but you get it. Now, which is this symbol. You get a 1 with the X. The X, I don't have a mouse, and the 1. And they call this the seal of Saturn. And that's not what that is. And they use this because this is the Latin. All this is Latin, right? We're using Latin sigil magic. You have to know the legend. So we're using this legend. So this is telling us who's doing all this and who this really is. It's going to identify the who, what, when, where, why, and how. This is 9. And this is 11. You remember me talking about the Egyptian, the true Egyptian zodiac, not the Greco-Egyptian, only had 9 constellations. And the Hebrew Greek only had 11 constellations. And the Roman that we have now, this Western, it has 12. So I kept wondering what happened to the 10. And there never was a 10. But this has always been about 9/11 because that is the Cairo mirrored itself. You have the XI here with the line down the middle for 9. And it mirrors itself, XI here, with the line down the middle. It is the Cairo mirroring itself in sigil magic. And they put these angles and images in everything. Put that there so you recognize it as to what it is. And that's mutable cross controlled by the masculine axis of the cardinal cross. The mutable cross is the water of Pisces, and that's controlled by Europe. But the masculine axis, that's controlled by Asia. Remember, the X is going to represent the black and the white. It's going to represent all 4 colors, because you have Pisces, Virgo, opposite Virgo, and you have Gemini, opposite Sagittarius. So you have Jupiter opposite Mercury, Jupiter opposite Mercury. But in comes, and this age would have been fine had they not added this symbol, which is part of the Babylonian symbol. and it comes from back over here. They brought it out of Egypt. You'll see this symbol actually in a lot of hieroglyphics, so now you'll know what it means when you see it. But its color is yellow and red, along with the yellow-red of the Gemini-Sagittarius axis. And they're invoking all the masculine axis. They're heavily invoking patriarch, but they've put on, and to make you hate it, but they've put on a dress and told you it's matriarch. And they're lying. There is no such thing as a feminist movement. It never happened. It's been a faux feminist movement by an extremely toxic masculine patriarchy. That's what this is. It's the patriarchy has always dominated this because they're grand masters, they're cardinal. And they've taken over a mutable, adept, ignorant age. That's why they call us sheep. We went from Gemini mutable to Taurus fixed to Aries cardinal, grand master level. And they're so much smarter than we are. And this is all really just child's play. It's just we've not been taught how to read. We've been programmed. There's no teaching to it. They haven't taught us anything. They've programmed us. We've never been taught. Just like in the churches, they do not teach us. They preach us. They preach at us. And that's a reach, all right. So, whoever told you this is a symbol of Saturn either is ignorant, a programmed ignorant that done no homework, or they're lying to you. There's only two choices there. They're either regurgitating ignorance that they've been programmed with, or it's an outright lie and manipulation, which is just another form of an attempted programming. But if you learn this stuff for yourself, and I promise you, it's easier than ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. It really is. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s have too many symbols. We have 26 in our alphabet and 10 digits for our numerical system. This is easier. There are fewer digits. You have 5 platonic solids. You have straight lines and curved lines. You have 4 basic colors: red, yellow, black, white. They couldn't be simpler. If you'll just, when you're learning it, understand you're learning a language that is seen. I keep telling you, you got to learn to hear with your eyes and see with your ears. When you're hearing something, you need to close your eyes and project what you're seeing in your mind's eye. That'll produce a set of symbols, what you're hearing. But what you're seeing, you need to hear with your eyes what it's saying. And that's the only way I know to unprogram. Before we can even really begin with this knowledge, you're going to have to let go of what you think you believe and what you think is true. Because everything I've put in these videos, I've showed you where it comes from, what it means, why it means that, what it does, what its purpose is, how it affects us, and then I try to give you a solution to overcome it. The first solution, knowing how it's done, it voids its control over you. All right, and that's my part to humanity. That's what I have to give. It's what I've uncovered. This is ancient, old information in its purest form, and it's all over the world to be read. But there is a major perversion going on. So it's important to me that you know the basic original symbols for alchemy: earth, water, air, fire, fixed, mutable, cardinal.